Hello, ladies and gentlemen. I've just watched the Nostalgia Critic talk about the old versus the new Spider-Man, and well, there's just lots of things to actually talk about. So let's just get with the stupid part, which you would basically hit him in the back of the head. It's like, dude, do you really? Seriously. All right, let's go with this. The fact that we have the first franchise and the second franchise. The first franchise made its way so that the second franchise can do a better job. Technically, if they both were starting with the same technology that they both start with, guess how the first Amazing Spider Man would do? Sucky. It would do very, very sucky. It's kind of like exactly what will happen with the whole Dragon Ball Z and Dragon Ball Z GT. No, Dragon Ball GT. The fact that lots of people told me, hey, while you're watching Dragon Ball GT, you know that it's horrible and crappy. They had crappy writing, and the fact that the the drawings, the animation behind it, it's so horrible. It's even worse, or it just as par as Dragon Ball Z, that you shouldn't be watching it. And I just watched it anyways, even though I kind of stopped as soon as it went to, yeah, Majin Buu's dead. What? Yeah, you heard me right. Majin Buu's dead. Oh yeah, I'm not watching it anymore. Majin Buu's dead. He was a good character. You killed him? Okay, screw this. Yeah, so, mm-hmm. And the thing is that there's like a few things, a lot of things that actually has been. There's a few things that actually has been done. Like for instance, just like I said, if they would have started in the same position exactly, if they actually had no way possible they had the technology that Sam Raimi had to create all by himself or along with the film crew. They had to create the spider cam, the spy cam. The fact that they had something that they had to put around the whole entire city, or definitely for that subway scene. And yeah, yeah. So another thing to actually talk about is just the fact of the Uncle Ben deaths. Yeah. They didn't even talk about how the Uncle Ben deaths even work out on that. Let's look at the first one. The first one, Uncle Ben basically was in the car. He was waiting for Peter. And then, yes, I know, because of that horrible sabotage movie, you have Sandman knocking at the door and saying, hey, I need this car. And Uncle Ben talking him down and stuff. Even though, I don't really know. I try to forget the sabotage movie, which let's just forget that it did happen, of course. And basically, the robber basically said, "Get out of the car," and Uncle Ben said no, and then he's like, "You shouldn't be doing this, young man. You should go home." And then he pulled him out of the car, shot him, or yeah, I don't know how he even got to the curb. Maybe, which is kind of funny, the fact that the other one is very, very dark. They wanted to go dark. They wanted to go how Chris Nolan did because that was selling. And that was stupid of an idea, just like what happened with Man of Steel. The fact that you're dealing with a character that is supposed to be for kids is the fact that that character was bright and shiny. Exactly how now Z, I think that his name is Z from Tokuger, the fact that he loves the shiny. Yeah, so if you basically took a good guy, turned him bad, you know what Z tell to him? Z will basically beat the snot out of him and say, you don't have the shiny. And heck, he might even kill him because he doesn't have the shiny. That's what happens with the whole Amazing Spider-Man versus Spider-Man. If you had both of them going to Z, Z will basically take Andrew Garfield and kill him, while Tobey Maguire would actually, he'll actually say, you have the shiny. You have the shiny. Just like with, what was his name? the first Superman and the reboot. Yeah, let's go with Brandon, even though that wasn't the one who really actually did it. So yeah, Brandon versus, I don't even know who the person who plays the Superman right now is doing. Yeah, but anyways, yeah. Basically, Brandon would live while the other one would die. I'm just saying the fact that you guys want the grittier part, and Z will basically say your grittier part sucks, spit it right in your face, pimp slap you, and everything. Anyways, let's continue on with the whole. Yeah, let's just continue on. So, Uncle Ben basically he died, and everyone was near him. They would actually showed that yeah, people care. Yeah, people in New York, even though they got shot, they won't actually walk around and basically be like, "Oh, that dude got shot. Let's leave him alone." It's like, "Mommy, we should do something for that man. Let's leave him alone." No, everyone in New York, chances are there is some good person or a few good people who actually would say, "We gotta call 911 on this guy. We gotta get him able to be safe." Yeah, technically, Uncle Ben in the newest movie didn't even have to die. It's like what I said with many other things. The fact of if the 3 seconds they both were staring at the gun, Uncle Ben did something. 3 seconds, he's like, 1, 2, 3, go, bam, kick the freaking gun in the street or kick the gun into the sewer. He would be safe, and plus you'll basically show, oh, the guy has a knife, oh, he stabbed him, oh, well, at least he was proactive to kick the gun in the street so that the robber won't actually have any, he won't be able to shoot him at least. And heck, maybe even have Uncle Ben fight, because in what if version you had Uncle Ben actually fighting alongside Peter. So why not actually show, oh yeah, but let's not forget they said we're basing it off the Ultimates. So if they're basing it off the Ultimates, technically Uncle Ben wouldn't even fight at all. Uncle Ben would have tried to talk the guy down. He would basically say, "Hey, look, mister, you stole from that guy and that's not right. And you should put the gun down, give him the person the money, and because this is not for you. This shouldn't be the lifestyle you want," and everything. And dude might actually say, "Shut up, old man." Bam! Kill him. You see? That makes a perfect one. Even though, let's see. Oh yeah, I only have like the first 5 issues. So that means I have to get the second issue to actually understand how Uncle Ben died. Because, well, I looked through it. I didn't really see how Uncle Ben died in the Ultimate version. But I bet chances are I'll be able to find it as soon as possible for right now. Well, anyways, let's continue on. So, the next up is that's the fact that they were like Mary Jane versus Gwen Stacy. The fact that Kirsten Dunst didn't really do that much. Didn't really have any character or anything. Which, I do have to say given, yeah. She was arm candy, I guess. But let's look at what they got their stuff from. They actually got, which even the Ultimate Spider-Man was starting exactly at the same time, meaning that they wouldn't even have the Ultimates to look back upon. And plus, anyway, Sam Raimi is a good Spider-Man fan, and he was a fan of him as a kid. Chances are he would go with the kid things that he saw instead of actually going with the newest stuff. So that means that he pasted stuff on the 60s stuff, He based his stuff on the 60s and 70s. So that means that what happened in the 60s and 70s, like the whole Mary Jane being someone that he has to save, well, look at the stuff that he grew up with. Of course, like when he grew up, you had basically the girl that was like, ooh, his romance, and she always needed to be saved. And why not? I mean, yeah, just why not? In this one, you basically have the crazy thing of, let's just go with the first part of saying, with Mary Jane, at least they had a story. At least they actually showed, well, first they were friends, and then Peter was too shy to ask her out, and then Harry, everyone else, yes, I know, everyone else dated her, but they continued on with the story of Peter decided not to date her. Peter decided to keep her safe, even if the bad guy figured out, oh yeah, or accidentally took, yeah, he basically tried to make it so that they could be safe. And basically, it took the second movie, the end, to actually realize, you know what? I shouldn't actually be like this. I should go for what I want. Sadly, they couldn't use Captain America because Captain America was the one who actually told Spider-Man, you should use your mask only for your face and not for your heart. And because of that, he was able to actually go to Mary Jane. Okay, let's go with the new one. So the new one, they said they're going for the Ultimates, even though the Ultimates actually still had Mary Jane as the lead person. Even though they did have Gwen Stacy actually being the, yeah, just the usual thing. The fact that, yeah, they had Mary Jane, and they had Gwen Stacy and Mary Jane again. It's just a crazy stuff that's going on. They even had Kitty Pryde in there. That was interesting. Do that. Yeah, be freaking spontaneous. Do that. Give freaking Kitty Pryde in Spider-Man. Yeah, we know you won't do it. It's freaking Fox property and crap. But there is a loophole, though. She was in the Ultimates, and if you guys were stupid enough to go with the Ultimates, even though I think they kind of did but kind of didn't, still, if they were smart enough to go with the Ultimates in the first place, they might actually have been like, oh yeah, we get to have Kitty Pryde because, well, why not? Yeah, it would be cool to actually see Kitty Pryde and Spider-Man in a relationship together. That would be very interesting. I say, why not? Just why not do it? Anyways, so you have this one where the X-Men basically made sure that everyone knew that, look at Peter. The fact that, yeah, he was even more creepier than freaking yeah, you were like, yeah, awkward creepiness and like all silent and all that stuff. But look at freaking what is going on with this new Peter. This new Peter actually had a desktop of the girl before he even asked her out. He had pictures of her everywhere before he even asked her out. And I mean, yeah, given that the old movie was in 2001, and basically you would say, oh well, chances are if he actually did have a computer and everything, he would actually have his thing of MJ. Like, yeah, I guess you could say that. But again, let's say he didn't actually do that. The only time he actually had a picture of her was in Spider-Man 2 slash also the Sabotage movie. No, it was the Sabotage movie. Yeah, the Sabotage movie actually had pictures of her. No. It was Spider-Man 2 as well. Okay. So, yeah, and that was even they were friends though. That's the crazy part. It's the fact that they were friends. If you actually go with the newest one, well, guess what? In the newest one, to me, it doesn't even seem like they were friends. It seemed like to me that, oh well, before then he was just basically this guy, and he admired the girl. He never talked to her, and yeah, I mean, understood that they actually had to have the whole, oh, I'm Gwen Stacy. I understand you had to actually have Gwen Stacy in there, but still, I would have rather, if they actually wanted to make it good, I would have rather they actually had her as a friend anyways. Yeah, and they already cast Mary Jane, and they just showed that the fact that they are friends, all three of them are friends, and you get to hear Gwen when they're like, "Hey, Gwen, honey, it's time to go home," like that, and see a Pete and all that stuff, instead of the whole, yeah, we're gonna have to show that, all that stuff, which, like so many people said, it's just a fact of they actually used other TV series as their. Sorry, I'm just looking at something real quick. Yeah, they used. Excuse me. So yeah, so they actually used. I think they used Spectacular Spider-Man. Yeah, they definitely used Spectacular Spider-Man. They also used Spider-Man the animated series, which I would like to say. So let me get this straight. You're using two series that Mr. Avi Arad freaking got canceled. Well, technically, Spectacular Spider-Man wasn't his fault. Yeah, so yeah, sorry. Those two wasn't his fault. The other two Spider-Man TV series was his fault. Yeah. Which I'm kind of like, okay, so if you're going to use this for future purposes, wouldn't it be smart you actually find a network who was actually would be like, yes, we'll keep it running? I mean, I'm just saying, just the fact of if you want to use your own TV series as footage or as inspiration, why wouldn't you not make sure it continues on? I'm just saying. I'm just saying. So yeah, you basically have Gwen Stacy as a scientist. It's good. The horrible part is just the fact of you basically made her more of a scientist than Peter is. And the fact that if Peter was such a genius, which I would also like to say in side notes, he should have also got Harry in the movie the first time, introduced him, allow him to be friends, so the dad's corporation that actually had the whole we need what was oh crap, I forgot the word. Interns, yeah, that's it. We need interns. He can actually, and I said this in another video, he could actually go to Harry and say, Harry, I need a hookup. And Harry would be like, no problem, Pete. I'll get you the hookup. Doesn't that make sense besides bringing him in the next movie and you're like, Harry, where the you been? He could actually been in the intern thing if you were there to actually say, yeah, man, I can hook you up with that. I'm just saying. Yes, I know he was been in boarding school, but that doesn't mean that the boarding school says, no laptops, no get it on the internet, no talking to your daddy. No. Boarding schools most likely weren't like that. Chances are they would actually allow you to at least write a letter or something. And chances are Peter might know prior to it the whole Oscorp wants to do intern stuff. Or heck, maybe the fact that his dad actually worked there and they're actually like, I wonder if the apple fall far from the tree. Or, the whole... Chances are they actually would have done their research, been like, yeah, he's a good student. Yeah, send him an intern thing, man. I mean, seriously, the whole having to sneak in, which that's another thing. The fact that in the old Spider-Man movie, has he ever stolen anything? Nope. New Spider-Man movie, has he stolen anything? Yep. He stole the passport. He stole the Rodrigo Rivera's pass to go in. He stole the quote-unquote web shooters, even though, yes, he bought some, which comes to the more question of how the frick did he buy more if they were supposed to actually be maybe middle class. Yeah, you would figure that those cost a bit of a pretty penny. And yeah, I'm just saying, Homer, I'm just saying the fact of they should actually have thought of it. Yeah, I'm just gonna drop it because, well, you can put it together. The fact of in the next movie too, it shows that they're suffering right now, and look at him. He's spending what, $1,000 for 50 in a box of Oscorp stuff. Yes, you could say, but he made his own. We haven't seen proof of, oh yes, he's able to make his own cartridges from that thing. All we can tell is the fact of he's using Oscorp tech, which guess what? Makes a definitely good idea of the whole you should have kept that part of saying, oh, Oscorp's been watching you. I wonder why. Oh yeah, it's because you were stupid enough to get some Oscorp equipment sent to your home, and they're suspicious of you because they wonder what the frick are you doing with their technology. Yeah, it sounds like a big duh to me. Yeah, and yeah, and the fact that they'll have like, I mean, it just makes so much sense. Yeah, so yeah, this guy is really a thief. Yeah, he's a messed up. He's a thief. Oh yeah, and if the chocolate milk counts, the milk chug, he stole that too. Yeah, in the newest movie, let's see. I don't think. Yeah, this is the first time ever he didn't steal anything from anyone. Yeah, that's the good news. Okay, let's continue on, shall we? Oh yeah, I was actually doing the relationship of Gwen Stacy and Mary Jane. Yeah, let's just close it right now to say that. Oh yeah, we were still talking about that. Yeah. So Mary Jane, yes, she's not really exactly there. Yeah, technically, when it came to helping out Peter, she only did it once, and it didn't really work that well. But at least it's the thought that counts, really. And let's say the Sabotage movie never happened. You only have those two movies, which I think those two movies should only be in contest. The third one doesn't count. Or there's like a part where you can slice the third movie, and you can use that good slice, and the bad slice can get thrown in the trash. But sadly, I can't tell you where you can make that slice. It depends on you. If you enjoyed the movie, that's good for you, but you enjoyed the Sabotage movie. If you hated the movie, just like I did, I was very disappointed. And you know that there was some good parts, but I can't tell the good from the bad. It's kind of like the whole. So you have Autobots and Decepticons roaming in the world, and you have to take out the bad guys. Which one's the bad guys? Because yeah, because I thought we'd first go for ugly faces, and then the stupid twins from Revenge of the Fallen came, and you're like, oh crap, those guys have ugly faces too. Okay, we can't rely on that move. Alright, let's continue on, shall we? But the whole she helped Peter, the fact that she helped him get the formula, that's good for you. But in the other part, because of that, your father died. I'm sorry to pin it on her, but yeah, your father died because he actually had to go there to save you. I'm sorry, but I have to say it. I mean, technically, if his daughter wasn't even there, let's see what happens. If his daughter wasn't even there, I mean, given, yes, there will be police officers there too. There will be police officers there, but I would just say the fact of, but they wouldn't be stupid enough to actually go up there if they saw that, oh my gosh, there's a big freaking lizard. I mean, given they should actually have the SWAT team go up there and shoot him, but heck, they should have actually realized, you're like, we tried shooting him. Oh yeah, and this is one of the SWAT team that actually got lizard poisoning. He's like, oh, we tried to get him. Oh, but he's regenerative. Oh, no bullets work. Oh, there's no hope. Oh, look, there's Spider-Man. Oh, get him. Oh. Chances are they would actually have just had Spider-Man do their job because, well, bullets don't work. How the frick will they be able to fight the lizard if the bullets don't even work? Oh yes, and the whole Gwen Stacy thing. So with Gwen Stacy, technically her father did die, even though yeah, they also have the whole idea of, oh yeah, Stacy, we tried bullets on it, it doesn't work. I think it's a good idea not to do anything hasty. Yeah. But of course you also have the whole Spider-Man was injured though. If Spider-Man was injured even though he somehow recovered with the bullet inside him, yeah. And it's kind of ironic the fact that I looked at some of the Ultimates and it looks like he actually have Dr. Connors take out bullets and fix up his wounds, and look at it now. Yeah, in this movie version, he doesn't help him at all. Yeah. And we also get to the newest movie. The newest movie, the fact of she did help him with the web shooters. She did help him in the whole Electro fight, even though Peter pleaded, stay here. Stay here, you'll be safe, stay here. But she insisted to help. And guess what happened? She died. So, when so many people actually I'm listening to, and they're like, but she is the one who said, she's the one who disrespected his orders. She's the one who said, no, screw that, Peter. I'm going to help you. And somehow she knows the printing of Oscorp thingy, even though I would say the elevator scene with her and Max Dillon, I would basically have him with the prints, and she's like, ooh, those prints are yours? And like, yeah. Can I see them? Oh, sure. And that's where she actually learns how those printing works. The fact that they could have used the elevator scene better than what they did with the whole, oh, Spider-Man, lots of people love him. He's awesome. I wish I could be just like him. I mean, that's good and all, but I would rather, along with him talking about Spider-Man, she actually looks at his printing and stuff, and she's like, yeah, he's cool and everything, while she looked at the printing saying, oh, this is incredible. Yeah, it's kind of like the whole yeah talk. She's not exactly listening, but at least she kind of is. Yeah, that's all I'm saying. That's all I'm saying. That's all I'm saying. But still, yeah, she basically caused her death, while in Mary Jane's case, it's not really the whole she started it. She's the one who went to go help. She's more like the one that, oh, she's the weak point. We gotta definitely take out this. We definitely have to use her, because if we don't have her, he won't come. I mean, yes, he will come, but they have to get more incentive, because there might be times where Spider-Man's like, you know what? It's just a fire. It seems like no one's actually in there. I'll let them do it. Yeah, but if he got Mary Jane, put Mary Jane in a burning building, and he also set up a trap, he'd basically be like, yeah. I mean, like, for instance, the burning building in the first Spider-Man movie, if there wasn't a person in there, and they're like, oh, someone is in there, and they're like, yeah, I don't think like someone's in there. I mean, yeah, he would check, but chances are there might be some moment where they're like, "Ah, the fire's too thing. I think I hear something." Like, ah, nah, it's just a bird, and then Spider-Man just swings away, allow them to help out the fire, while Green Goblin fight never occurred because, well, just like happened in the Sabotage movie, oh, it's just a bird. Chances are it's a bird. Yeah, birds don't need to be saved. And PETA, if you want to save the bird, go right ahead. Go in the burning building and save it, whatever. Now, next up is the whole villain thing. I mean, let's see. Who won in the villain battle? I forgot who won in the Nostalgia Critic. I think we won. I think Altman won. I don't know. Anyway, I would just like to explain the whole idea of, you have the lizard. The lizard dude. They could have made him. I mean, yeah, the messed up thing is that the Nostalgia Critic thinks that you feel sympathy for the man. I don't feel sympathy at all. I mean, there's so many people, chances are, would be like, good. I'm glad he freaking smashed through that thing. I'm glad he hit the floor. I'm glad he's getting arrested. I mean, seriously, yeah, there's lots of people out there who is like, yeah, I'm glad he did. But they could have actually made him sympathetic if they kept his family in. As you can see in some deleted scenes, he did have a family. They did have lots of stuff with the family incorporated. You could actually show that he's a father figure. He's a loving husband. Yeah. And even with the Daily Bugle Tumblr exclusive, the fact that they say it's 1 year since the whole lizard attack happened, how do you feel? It's kind of like, why do we even care what the wife says? I mean, yeah, it's good that we know that he has a wife and has a son, but wouldn't you figure in the first movie they actually would have had some hint that, oh, he had a, yeah, because with Tumblr now, I mean, for people who didn't even watch the deleted scenes and stuff and actually stay true and they're like, I'm not watching deleted scenes, I'm not watching deleted scenes, you'll just read on Tumblr and maybe you actually get sympathetic saying, he had a wife and a son? Man, now I feel bad about him. That might be the only way how someone really can feel bad about him. But if you did watch the deleted scenes, it's like if they would have put it in the movie, it might have felt sympathetic for him. But since they didn't do it, it just seems like he's just nothing but a crooked man. Yeah, he wanted his arm back, but after figuring out what it does, I think chances are he wouldn't actually use it again. And you just basically put some stupid idea of how, yeah, he's bettering it. The freaking lizard experimental enhancer, whatever, is warping his mind or some kind of crap. Even so, it's kind of like, yeah, something just went wrong there. I mean, it is just basically maybe even the second Sabotage film that Sony released. Because, yeah, this one, Matt Webb got to have the whole creative thing. But it was the executives who were like, oh, yeah, this movie, yeah, this first movie that we see, this cut, it's crap. Yeah, you're going to have to redo things and cut things off because we don't like it. I would just basically say, get a bunch of real Spider-Man fans, not freaking Sony executives. Get real Spider-Man fans to watch it. As for stupid executives, they can get in the face. And that's the real reason why their crap is going down the drain, is because they don't really know. Yeah, they really need to get some fans who really truly like Spider-Man. And yeah, as for Avier Red, he basically screwed over Spider-Man. Even in the 90s, he screwed over Spider-Man. So it's kind of like, yeah, we need to have new people doing this because those guys are not doing anything. And as for Tomac, or I forgot his name, I think it started with an M. He basically is not doing anything good, even though you do have to admit that same producer was in the first Spider-Man movie. Yeah, he actually was with Sam Raimi, and then he dropped out for some reason. And then he came back when the new franchise happened, which you're like, okay, what's up with that? Which I guess I should do some research on that to see what happens, but whatever. Yeah, and what about this idea, the fact that so the idea that he actually is a genius. Oh yeah, I already explained it, but let's continue on with the whole idea of he was trying to upgrade the web shooters so that Electro can't do anything with him, or at least it won't fry up on him. Well, guess what? He couldn't do it. It actually took Gwen Stacy to figure it out, which, due to the Ultimate Saga, I do have to say, due to the Ultimate Spider-Man, it was Mary Jane who kept on sewing his suit up for him. Yes. But yeah, the trade-off is instead of having Mary Jane, you'll have Gwen Stacy, and Gwen Stacy will upgrade his web shooters. It's kind of like saying, Peter, this Peter, he's not as much of a man as he could be. I mean, chances are, I bet if Tobey Maguire was still Spider-Man, and heck, let's say that Miles Morales came around, and Miles Morales was like, I don't have organic webs, chances are you'll have him actually being like, I guess we need to make some artificial web shooters for you so you can actually do it. And chances are he might actually be able to do it. Yeah, I mean, look at all the stuff that we've seen lately. He actually might be able to actually do it, even though in the first film, lots of people will be like, he's too lazy, he's too whatever. He couldn't make web shooters in his sleep. But the real reason why he didn't have web shooters is because they went for realistic purposes. I mean, let's be realistic here. The whole web shooter thing and the fact that it can work, yeah, it seems to me that the web shooters actually would take more than one cartridge to do a single whole entire web. That's the messed up part. You'll basically build web cartridge, opens empty, web cartridge, opens empty, web cartridge, opens empty. It's kind of really messed up. It's kind of like MT Warrior, where you had mini boomers, mini boomers, mini boomers, mini boomers. Yeah, yeah, seriously. Oh yeah, the other thing that he basically hammered in is just the whole idea of, oh, he had a real hard time on being Spider-Man or not. Well, it's because, oh yeah, I already explained that. Yeah, I explained that. Yeah, it's messed up to name the Sabotage movie in this. I mean, you should definitely go for two unless you're actually picking the good aspects on the Sabotage movie. Other than that, you shouldn't really mention the Sabotage movie at all, man. Yeah, don't do it. Just don't do it, man. Don't do it at all. And let's just end it with a few things. Yeah, this is going a bit long, but hey, when you make me a bit mad and I have to stand up and say something, I do it. Alright, let's first end it. Oh man, I forgot what I was about to say, but let's just go with Stan Lee. So Stan Lee, he actually has cameos. He's a master of cameos. So the first Spider-Man one, you might miss it. The good news is that they actually had this person that played Spider-Man in 1967's TV version. That was nice. That was a lovely homage. That was very cool. And the second one, oh man, come on. Oh yes, in the second one, you actually had Stan Lee being a hero because there's a woman right down below and there's lots of debris. He said, look out, pushed her out of the way. You had Stan Lee actually being a hero. In the third one, you actually had Stan Lee saying, you know, one person can make a difference. I do have to admit, that one actually deserves to stay in there. I mean, yeah, technically, I think even the beginning had some messed up spots on it. Yeah, it had messed up bad stuff. So from the get-go, it actually was messed up. But still, Stan Lee's cameo on that was still spot on, even though the movie was a Sabotage movie. Alright, let's go with the newest ones, the newest franchise. So you had the first one, which you had the best, I will admit, yes, he had the best Stan Lee cameo yet. And heck, even the newest movie couldn't even top it. That was messed up. You did something very good, and then you couldn't top it. Yeah, it's kind of like the upside down kiss that everyone will remember. And guess what? You guys can never top that. You can never top that kiss. Man, that's messed up. Yeah, you guys can't never top that kiss. Too bad for you. But you did top them when it came to the Stan Lee thing. But what you could have done that could have been good is the whole, which I did mention in a previous video I did, the whole idea that the limo driver, you chose the freaking robber from the first movie to be the limo driver? Are you serious? Could you not have just been like, oh, we get Tobey Maguire just to say, pat on the back, we sorry that it couldn't really, in a snobbish way, I'm sorry you couldn't really work it out, buddy, but hey, here's a cameo, at least say you were Spider-Man. Or get 1967 Spider-Man, put him in there, put him as the limo driver. It's like, check what's out there. It's like, yeah, I'll try. I'm not as good as I used to be. See, that would have been a good line, wouldn't it? Not as good as he used to be, meaning that he's hinting back to the days of when he was Spider-Man. That would have been cool. That would have been nice to see. That would have been very cool. So, alright, there was one other thing that I forgot to mention. Well, let's continue on, shall we? Yeah, I'm going to continue on this video, even though I said I was going to stop. I forgot to mention all the villains. That's what I was going to mention. Alright. Let's just take a look right quick. In Spider-Man 1, who do they actually have? They have Green Goblin. They mentioned Kurt Connors. They mentioned Eddie Brock. Four characters already mentioned so they can actually start. And all they did is just mention them. And for anyone who's like, oh, but when did they mention them? In the first movie, when Peter was looking for a job, he actually was like, Kurt Connors fired me again for being late. Ding! Yeah, we were trying to get pictures of Spider-Man forever. Eddie's been trying for weeks. Ding! Green Goblin and I forgot who else I said. I counted four. Oh well. In Spider-Man 2, they showed Kurt Connors. Ding! They showed not show Green Goblin, but they did have a funny thing that William Dafoe did when he returned on set. Oh, actually, yes. Let's even talk about that. They had Green Goblin return as something in his mind from Harry, even though technically that shouldn't have really worked. Yeah, technically, yeah, I do have to admit that shouldn't have worked. Not unless he actually took the formula, but either way, it still was a good scene, even if right now, if you're thinking, hey, that doesn't make sense, he didn't even get hit by the Oz thing. Who knows what could have happened? Maybe since he was with his dad a lot and he got all his dad's hot air and stuff, it impressioned on him or something, some imbalance chemical thing, even though then that means that Mary Jane and Aunt May should have got that as well, but maybe bloodline or some kind of crap. And just like what they did in the new series. As though you did in the new franchise. So, yeah, you had Green Goblin returns, you had Dr. Connors actually making an appearance, you had Dr. Ock. Mm-hmm. Is there anything else? Shoot. Oh, and you also had the setup for, J. Jonah Jameson going in space. Basically meaning Venom. Sadly, I don't want to talk about the Sabotage film because that's really not Sam Raimi's film at all. And even if you look at it, they didn't even say or have any mention of anything whatsoever. So, yeah, it's not really that good to even comply with what it has. Alright, and the newest movie, let's see. They had some name drops. They had. Basically, I think they only had Dr. Connors, and lots of people were making speculations. Also, you had Mr. Furious, or Mr. Fear. Yeah, Mr. Fear, sorry. Yeah, they also dropped Mr. Fear in there, basically making something out of something. Yeah, the untold story that never was really told except for the next movie where they just made it a small little wrap up. It's like as bad as when you actually get. Yeah, you want something very badly. It's like you want a toy very, very badly. And guess what? Instead of that big, giant Megazord you wanted, they gave you the small mini Pla. Yeah, that's exactly what happened. That's exactly what happened. So yeah, in the first movie, I think it was just to get their franchise still, even though Spider-Man 4 would have been nice to get. I'm just saying, you let the Sabotage movie end in a bad term. Spider-Man 2 has a better ending. The fact that you have Mary Jane just right there looking upon Spider-Man swinging away. High hopes. Ending it on high hopes. Definitely ending on high hopes. So yeah, the next movie, the movie right now, this is where they actually went cuckoo bananas. Especially since what happened with the Avengers, which I basically call it the Avengers effect. The fact that you have Fox and Sony and WB all freaking out. And because they're freaking out, they basically said, okay, what can we do? Fox basically had already the idea and it's already made possible of Days of Future Past, which it came close and it's actually now strengthened up their franchise. Even though I kind of say Marvel, I understand. Marvel slash Disney, I understand you want X-Men back, but please don't do this crap. Please don't. I mean, I understand, but I would like to see where it leads all the way to the end where they're like, crap, we're out of ideas. As for Fantastic Four, yeah, you can definitely just say, yeah, we're not selling any more toys, no comic books, no nothing. Even though I do say, please just allow Future Foundations to continue. Ultimate Future Foundations, allow that to continue because it was just starting. It's messed up if you're like, yeah, you're a parent and your kid was doing so well. Your kid basically was playing baseball. And then all of a sudden you said, come in, son. We're not going to come here anymore. But daddy, I was getting good. No, son. We have to go. That's messed up. He was just starting. It was starting to get good. He was starting to actually learn how to pitch. And you tell him, let's go. We're not coming back here again. We're not going to come here back for a long while or something. But anyways, yes, they did a lot of name drops. As for the rest of them, yeah, I don't have to explain the rest of them. WB's not really doing that well at all. Now we go to Sony, which Sony basically needs to get the same exact money or at least match what they have for Avengers. And what do they have? The Sinister Six. So because of that, they basically actually try to incorporate the Sinister Six in the movie, even though it kind of seemed more like, which I can't actually now see what they were talking about. The fact that they're like, Spider-Man 2 is more like the prequel to Sinister Six, which I can actually understand it. Yeah, I can actually understand it now. I mean, it took me a while to really get it in my head, but it does make sense. The fact that they had to do the same thing that they did with the Sabotage movie. Throw in 3 villains right in there. Did the exact same thing that they did with all... Well, technically, no. In the Sabotage movie, they actually had 2 villains together teamed up to take down Spider-Man. Along with the other villain, which turned into a hero and actually came to Spider-Man's rescue. To think that they could actually do the same time where you actually have the Rhino turning bad into a good guy and helping Spider-Man to go against Electro and Green Goblin, that did happen before. That's kind of funny. It did happen before, but they don't even have enough storyline to actually make it work. So you basically like Electro. Electro was like the main villain per se, all the way to like the last bit. Yeah, so you have it like split in some cutlets. First you had the Rhino, then you had a large center of Electro, then you had like little snippets in between for Green Goblin and Electro go back to back, and then you had Green Goblin put in the back, and then finally you had the Rhino yet again. And they ended it, which I actually figured it out before I even watched the movie. I figured out, oh yeah, wait a minute. If these guys are people who if Sony's stupid and dumb and actually tell you everything before you see the movie, wouldn't we have seen the Rhino's face get hit with that manhole cover? And then I was like, you know what? That might actually be the ending of the movie. And I was right, which that's kind of horrible. The fact that they released the end of the movie in a trailer. You shouldn't know the end of the movie. That's as bad as actually getting a prequel and actually having them say, but promises are made to be broken. Which, sadly, that would actually be way out of place in the trailer. But it'll be the same thing. This is the first time ever they actually had not ruined the movie, the ending, but they kind of actually did have the ending within. So yeah, and then you had lots of stuff. They cut out like one certain part for the end credits. The credits itself had like decorative stuff, which I talked about in a previous video. And they have Craven, even though they did have Black Cat, so it's kind of a toss up. They both were in a video game. They just now had Craven in a video game, and Mark Webb actually. No, Mark Webb. Nah, freaking screw it. Webb dude actually had an interview where he said, "Yeah, I think Craven would be a good person to have." And besides, Craven was a part of the whole death of Spider Man. And of course, everyone who disliked the whole death of Spider Man, well, guess what? You were the reason why the death of Spider Man happened. You should have kept on buying the comics, even in the recession. That's how Peter Parker would have lived. But if you didn't do it, guess what? You shouldn't complain. I can't complain because I didn't get to support at all because I was a kid. I mean, there's many kids who actually were able to do it, but as for me, I wasn't able to do it because I was just a plain kid. Okay, I think this is long enough. Thank you for listening, and yeah, Nostalgia Critic, the new one doesn't really get to do anything. I would say they tie. I would kind of say they tie, but they kind of had the. Yeah, they kind of didn't have their crap straight, though. Yeah, when it came to the new franchise, they had the crappy prequel that was supposed to be like The Dark Knight. And then they're like, oh, yes, all the fans are saying bright and shiny. They wanted to be Z. We gotta make this one bright and shinier, which that was a good job. You should have been did that for the first movie. If you did for the first movie and you did in the second movie, I would say you might actually have tied. But since you didn't do it and you actually wanted to get Chris Nolan fans interested, that's where I'm like, yeah, you fall very short. The good news is that at least Amazing Spider-Man 2 did better than the Sabotage film, but it was sabotaged anyways, just like the prequel can actually be said is sabotaged as well. But, whatever. I'm done. I'm webbing away. Peace out.